Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
People don't remember good, they remember different. As quoted by the Joker played by the amazing Heath Ledger, still and always stand as one of the best portrayals of the villain in the Dark Knight trilogy. It also describes the Russian watchmaker and inventor Konstantin Chaykin, wristmons Joker collection perfectly. A quick scroll through his website reveals some fantastic descriptions of the man behind the creations. Chykin offers glimpses at the clock from a different, non-standard point of view, as he decided to reinvent the clock as a kinematic pop art object. One who dared to release Jack in the Box to create a new spirit of high mechanics that are ever-changing, spectacular, and provocative. While the dial is the main show, let's begin with the brushed stainless steel case that measures in at 42mm and a respectable thickness of 13.7mm. A relatively short lug-to-lug of 48.4mm and a lug width of 21mm ensures the Joker sits comfortably on my 17cm wrist. The brushing on the case is a nice contrast to some of the polished components, like the bezel and polish chamfers on the top side of the lugs, which slope away from the case immediately, may I add. It has an almost refined industrial look to it, which I think only adds character to an already charismatic watch. The supplied black leather strap in this instant is a little plain compared to some options I have seen online, with some funky options available on certain models. However, Sean, the owner and all-round nice guy who loaned this piece to me for more than 2 weeks, opted for this funky stingray strap which suits it perfectly. There's nothing wrong with the supplied strap. It's of good quality with a polished sign buckle and embossed backing. It's perhaps a little thick at the lug end, with the main issue being its curved lug design that positions it very close to the case. So for those owners wishing to add their own splash of personality, may need to opt for a custom strap, as a straight lug design will most likely not fit or be a very tight squeeze. Once on wrist though, those little niggles are gone in a moment and the well-balanced masterpiece comes alive. There's 2 crowns which serve a few purposes. One is for manipulation of the watch's functions, but also visually adds to the realness of the character. The Joker is human, kind of, and has ears after all. At the 3 position, there's a signed, almost slim onion-styled non-screw-down crown with nice grooving. Winding of the ETA movement is smooth and easy as expected, and in the 2nd position, yes, unfortunately there's a ghost position, which is a little disappointing. However, I got over it pretty quickly, and once you do get to the time-changing position, where the eyes are the time indication, more on that in a minute. At the 9 position, it's actually a push mechanism that allows you to adjust the moon phase. This is done via a hidden pusher in the left-hand crown. You're not pressing the entire crown, but rather the pusher inside it. Water resistance, while not indicated on the watch, I'm led to believe is 30 meters. Nothing fancy, but it's certainly not a dive watch anyway, and I don't remember seeing the Joker anywhere at the beaches in the films. On the reverse is a solid polished case back with some nice engraving, and yes, as you can see, 2 things. This watch is Russian made, and you'll also notice that these pieces are only made in very small numbers due to a lot of the components being made in-house. Powering this villain at its core is an ETA 2824-2 automatic movement. However, having rotating eyes and a moon phase indicator isn't as simple as slapping in an off-the-shelf movement. Chykin needed to decide and build a module for the time display, and that's what he did. I find this super impressive considering the case thickness is still only a very wearable 13.7mm. The only slight downside of the extra module is that the power reserve has been reduced a little to approximately 38 hours. On the outer edge there's a semi-polished fixed bezel interrupted by 10 notches, 5 with playing card suits of diamond, clubs, hearts and spades, and the letter J or Joker card above the 12 o'clock position. For each engraved element, there are 2 surrounding screws used to hold the bezel on the case body. The other 5 notches are arrowheads, and break up the bezel nicely. The suit symbols have been laser etched and really pop with the polished finishing and only adds more depth to the watch. Sitting on top is a sapphire crystal with anti-reflective, which only enhances the absolute magic that lies beneath. From the green chapter ring to the highly textured nose and forehead, it's an overstimulation of happiness, bewilderment and awe. From my research, the dial is made totally in-house and comes to life as a CNC piece of brass with multiple finishings. The time is displayed in an unusual way using the Joker's eyes. Instead of hands, the dots denoting eyeballs indicate hours and minutes on the left and right eyes on rotating discs. The slightly sloped subdials with printed markings denote the hour on the left and minutes on the right. Initially I found reading the time odd, but after a day or so it all seemed very natural and easy to read the time. Each component is hand painted, filed, polished, all in-house. Even the off-white colours are perfect details that bring the Joker to life. The dial's base is decorated with an almost wavy ripple effect pattern, while the forehead, eyebrows and nose are represented by a ruthenium plated grey plate decorated with a pattern that reminds me of waffles. The brand's name and logo is adorned up top on a brushed plate. The moon phase indicator, i.e. the large red tongue sticking out most of the time, is framed to look like a smiling mouth. The red frame or lips are beautifully chamfered, which only completes the smile, but also brings a delicate touch to the dial that one can only really appreciate in person. But I have to say the addition of the 4 little cute teeth is still one of my favourite details. There's over 20,000 expressions counted that this watch can have. Not by me, I must add. A majority are of goofiness, happiness and the occasional sadness. Every time you look down, you are met with a new expression, and that's something that made me enjoy this watch even more. While the watch has a love me or hate me effect, the more I wore it out, the more conversations were started with most people intrigued and more importantly smiling from such a creative piece, and I was pleasantly surprised by this. While certainly not a dress watch, there's no denying the Joker's fun and quirkiness side, and I believe would be more than okay in an even more corporate environment. It may not quite slide under a cuff, but the Joker was never meant to blend in anyway. A Blog to Watch author David Brendan summed up the Joker watch perfectly, writing, "It's a proud yet strangely discreet middle finger right in the face of everything and everyone who would disapprove it. The Joker is taking no hostages. You either love it or you hate it, and either is fine because both are a genuine reaction, something so few watches today are capable of evoking." And he's got a point. After wearing this piece for several weeks, I cannot think of another watch that has sparked so much conversation. And I applaud Chaykin for that exact reason. As the Joker said, beautiful faces are everywhere, but beautiful minds are hard to find. Love it? Hate it? Comment below, I'd love to hear them. But do please keep it civil. It's just a watch after all, and we're all enthusiasts at different levels of knowledge. Thanks for watching, and please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps. And if you want to see more daily content, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Mr. Ace K Productions. See you next time.